We have officially reached the end of the cultural regular season. It is time to go to conference championship week. So many teams control their own destiny, such as Alabama, Clemson, Washington. Those three teams control their own destiny. And there are teams that aren't necessarily out of it, but they need to win their conference championship to at least have a shot. Like Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Colorado. They still need to win their conference championship to even be in the discussion for the playoff. Before we get to that, let's talk about some coaching changes. LSU decided to hire Ed Orgeron, although it was reported throughout Thursday night that there was a possibility that a deal could be in place for Tom Herman by Saturday morning. Well, there was a deal in place for Tom Herman Saturday morning, but it wasn't just for LSU. It was for Texas. And Texas decided to finally release Charlie Strong. However, there's still a $10.7 million buyout for Charlie Strong. However, the buyout will decrease if he takes another job elsewhere. And Orgeron for LSU wants to take, he was named the head coach for LSU, and he wants to take Lane Kiffin from Alabama and make him his offensive coordinator. Good luck with that, Ed Orgeron. Good luck. There's no way Lane Kiffin's going to leave a success like Alabama and join LSU. There's just no way that's happening. But there are still some coaches out there. I mean, Brian Kelly says he's staying at Notre Dame. It's been reported he will, but he's looking at other options. Purdue's an option. Baylor's an option. Texas A&M could be an option. Western Michigan. Just so many options right now. So let's get to the playoff picture now. At number one, of course, we have Alabama. 2, Ohio State after that double overtime victory against Michigan, which I called it going to double overtime last week. If you didn't see it, it's toward the end. I didn't pick the correct score, but I said Ohio State would win by 3 points in double overtime. And number 3, we have Clemson, who dominated their in-state rival in South Carolina. So the big question come Tuesday night is going to be, who is number 4? Is it going to be Washington? Is it going to be Wisconsin? Or did the committee decide to not bump Michigan nearly at all, and they kept in the top 4? And that leads me to the second question. Does Michigan still have a chance to make the college football playoff? I think they do. Based on their resume with wins over Wisconsin, Penn State, and Colorado, 3 teams in the top 9, I think that's a good resume. And a 1-point loss against Iowa, I mean, in prime time in November when it was cold and it was snowing, I think that's a great loss. I think a 1-point loss, maybe to someone like Iowa who got embarrassed by Penn State or Wisconsin ended up beating them. But I just think that road games in the Big Ten in November, there are trap games waiting to happen. So I kind of acknowledge it'd be a trap game a couple weeks in advance. And a road loss against Ohio State in the horseshoe by 3 in double overtime. That is a great loss as well. So I think Michigan is not necessarily out of it yet, but I think it's a little slim. I think if Washington were to lose the Pac-12 championship, I think Michigan would get in. Now let's kind of get to my playoff rankings. I have Alabama at number 1, of course. Ohio State at 2, of course. Clemson number 3, of course. But the question is, where do I put it number 4? I decided to put Washington number 4 because I just feel like things were changing. I mean, I think Washington's had some convincing victories. It was kind of hard for me where to put who. I put Michigan number 5 because they didn't have a bad loss last week. I just feel like that Michigan, that was the tiebreaker for me. They beat Wisconsin, who had at number 6, and Penn State number 7, head-to-head and head-to-head. So that was ultimately what decided for me to put Michigan number 5. Number 8, I have Oklahoma, 9, Colorado, and 10, Oklahoma State. Sorry that those 3 teams do not move up from the rankings. So I think as of right now, we can eliminate Oklahoma, we can eliminate Colorado, we can eliminate Oklahoma State from making the playoffs. Sorry, Sooners fans. Sorry, Colorado Buffalo fans, and sorry, Oklahoma State fans, but your team's chances of making the college football playoff are officially over. However, I could be wrong. We've had crazy stuff happen in the past, but as of right now, it looks like that your chances of making the college football playoff are 0. However, hopefully, with all this controversy that we could see some controversy next Sunday, and hopefully it could ignite a conversation to expand the college football playoff system. I mean, think about it. We have 128 teams in Division One. If we split them up in 16 separate divisions throughout 8 conferences, whoever won each of those 16 divisions would play the other division who was on top, have them play in a conference championship game. They all go to the playoff. Like all 16 of those division winners go to the college football playoff. And your conference championship game is the first round of the playoff. That wasn't my idea. It was somebody else's idea. I think it's going to be a good one. I think it would revolutionize the way college football is watched all throughout the country and possibly throughout the world. That way it would give all 128 teams an equal opportunity to win the national championship every single year. As we have seen teams throughout the past. We've seen Western Michigan this year. We've seen Houston this year. Last year. We've seen Houston last year. We've seen Boise State in the past. We've seen TCU in the past. It would give teams like that an equal opportunity to win the national championship year in and year out. And I think that'd be great. I would love to see that. I would love to instigate it, although I don't have that much power right now. But if you can give me the subscribers, I could probably initiate that. So let's get to what everybody's been waiting for, the conference championship predictions. Now we have one group of 5 to predict, and we have the Power Fives. So let's start with the group of 5 one. It's on Friday night. West Michigan taking on the Ohio Bobcats. I think Ohio is capable of winning this game, but I just think Western Michigan, they have so much to play for. If West Michigan wins this game, not only will they be conference champions at 13-0, but they will be in a New Year's Six bowl. Which bowl will it be? Only time will tell. We'll find out next Sunday if they can win. I think West Michigan's going to win this game. I just think they have a lot to play for. I think they'll be motivated. But are they going to be looking too ahead at the bowl season? Because they think that right now, since Boise State lost last week, since Houston lost last week, that they're in the driver's seat for a New Year's Six. But if they better be careful and not look ahead to that, because you got to focus on winning the conference championship first. And I think they will do that. I think they're going to be really well coached in this game. I think it's going to pay off. Pac-12 championship game, Colorado versus Washington. Kind of like again what I was talking about with the West Michigan Ohio. I think Colorado's capable of winning this game, and I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. But I think in the end, Jake Browning and that Washington offense, I think they're going to prevail. I mean, I think it's not going to be a rout. I don't necessarily think, but I think Washington will win the game. I just think Jake Browning, one last chance to pad the potential Heisman stats, because Lamar Jackson lost the last 2 games. So I think Jake Browning may win the Heisman now. Depending on how he does Friday night. All right, the Bedlam. Oklahoma State taking on Oklahoma. Kind of like, again, what I was saying. Oklahoma State, I think they're capable of winning the game. But I just think Oklahoma has the edge, especially with their prolific offense, led by Baker Mayfield and D.D. Westbrook, Samaje Perine, and Joe Mixon. Just the big 4 I've been talking about all year long since the TCU game. As I've been saying, that if Oklahoma were to make a New Year's Six, to look at the TCU game as the turning point in the year for these Sooners. Now looking to finish off the year with a W. All right, SEC championship game, Alabama versus Florida. I don't think there's much to say in this game. I just think Alabama's just going to roll in this game. I think it's going to be not even close. I think it's going to be like 45-10. However, if Florida wants to have a chance at winning this matchup, you got to throw 50-50 balls to Antonio Callaway. You got to test Alabama's secondary a bit. You got to have at least 12 50-50 balls. They don't have to be complete. They don't have to all be completed. We got to at least attempt them. Even if you only can get 6 of them, it's better than nothing. And also, if you want to beat Alabama, I've been trying to just say this all year long. You have to score in the first quarter. It doesn't matter what it is. Like if you can score on the first possession, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, it doesn't matter. You got to set momentum early. Right, but I still think Alabama's going to roll in this game. I just don't think it'll be close. Moving on to the AC Championship game, Clemson versus Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech is capable of winning this game. And I think they're going to give Clemson a push. However, I think in the end, though, I think Deshaun Watson will make the plays that will be necessary to win this game, as he will lead Clemson once again to the College Football Playoff. And finally, the Big Ten Championship game, Wisconsin taking on Penn State. Penn State, one of those teams that was unexpected to even be even in the discussion for being in the Big Ten championship game. But they're there. However, there's a bunch of key factors for each of these teams. For Wisconsin, how is Alex Hornibrook feeling? Or are they going to start Bart Houston? For Penn State, how significant is the injury to Saquon Barkley, who's leading the Big Ten in rushing touchdowns? However, I think the difference in this game is I think that Wisconsin defense will rise to the occasion like they have all year long, as I think the Badgers will pull it out. As I have said since the beginning of the year, Wisconsin will win the Big Ten. I said it back in May. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be hard-fought. I think in the end, I don't think Penn State will be able to match up against Wisconsin. I think it'll be a little bit of a mismatch. The score's going to be close, but it's going to feel like Wisconsin will dominate the game. Just based on how Penn State's offense is yet to face a defense like Wisconsin's. They kind of faced it against Michigan and they got smoked early in the year, about 49-10. So look for that to happen. And that's going to do it for your conference championship predictions. If you like, subscribe to the channel. You share it with your friends, family, whoever. I'm kind of sitting in a low chair today, kind of trying to get used to the new location. Anyway, follow me on Twitter at JBTalkSports. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you next time.